So, after a 13-year wait, Avatar 2, The Way of Water, is finally upon us. Now, back in 2009, Avatar, the first one, was a technical marvel. It was, in a way, many would say a masterpiece in what it was able to do. Story-wise, for sure, it was an old story, just kind of redone, but for technology and the way it did a lot of the things that it did back in 2009, it was a big thing, and the 3D was something really special. It worked, although the films that came after that really didn't use the 3D that much, or not in the way that it should have been, but Avatar was something of a special thing. So 13 years later, we've already seen the technology, that 3D done right, and the 3D kind of is out. It's not really with movies. Usually you see an IMAX movie, it's there, sometimes not there. It's not a big thing as it was back in 2009 and the following years that, passed right after. Now, so this movie has kind of like a thing where it's like, hey, what is it going to be able to do for us now that that thing has passed? Well, the story, right? It got to do everything that's better than the first one in every way. It got to be bigger and it got to be better story wise, because the first one, bigger complaint was that the story was kind of recycled, and I get that. I do enjoy the first film. I think it was a great film. I don't think it's an excellent film technically, for sure, but story wise it did slow it down a bit. In the 3 hour runtime, it did feel that it shouldn't be long. This movie, though, oh boy, that 3 hour runtime feels good. Heck, I wanted 4 hours, to be very honest. The story is actually really good, even though, again, it is at its core a very basic story. It has been done before. It's all about family. It's about dadhood. It's all about being a leader and a dad, and the character Jake Sully has a family now. So he's not just a warrior, he also has a dad, that, he gotta protect his family, he gotta protect the kids, you gotta take care of things now more than just being a leader. So there's a lot riding on him in this one. And also at the same time, the story expands. It's not just one tribe that we saw in the first movie. Now there's a whole lot other things going on out there. It's Pandora. It's a big ass world. There's a whole lot of stuff out there. So we got to explore that. We also got to explore a lot of story. We got to add to the story. It's not just one thing. There are a whole lot other elements come into play, and there are a lot of elements that are actually a setup for future movies. So this movie is more of a true sequel. It's not done in a way where, you watch a superhero movie or so that, okay, we got to do this, and then we have an action scene, then we got to do this, and then it's an action scene. It's more of an organic story, the way it's structured. You don't look for the next action scene. It's more just watching on screen what's going on. There's always something happening. Even if the story has kind of slowed down, there are things on screen that you just marvel at. The technology and the way things are done, it's unbelievable. At no point in the movie, at least for me, did I feel like that this movie is not CGI. Although 99.9% of it is CGI. The water, everything, every single thing is CGI, and it's really hard to believe that nothing feels CGI. Everything is perfected. Whatever was wrong the first one, if there were nitpicks in the first one, they've been perfected in the second, and it's a marvel to look at. Again, it not might not be as big of a change that the first one was able to bring, but at the same time, this movie is not doing that. This is about expanding the story and going to new places and exploring the world of Pandora, which it does beautifully. There are moments also added into this that are really tear jerkers. Towards the second half of the movie, things just go. And first half is more building up the story, building up the characters, building up relationships, and it's all about the characters, and it comes through. Never do you feel like, oh, we're just seeing some blue people. No, it's the characters feel real. The characters feel grounded. The relationships feel grounded. The relationships feel beautiful. And on top of that, everything around it, it's just beautiful. At its core, it's definitely a James Cameron film. As I said in my quick reaction, if you are a fan of the first one, you're probably going to like this a whole lot more than the first one. If you're not, I do feel like you still have a chance of actually liking this movie, even if you're not a fan of the first one or you didn't like the first one. So all in all, it's definitely a win. It's definitely worth waiting. Again, at its core, it's a very simple story, but it's done beautifully. But that's what James Cameron does. Is like Titanic at its core, it's a very basic story, but it's everything surrounding it, the relationships, the whole second half, the action. That's what matters. At its core, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 are basic in story, but it's what he does with the stories that matter and that kind of stay with us. And I think this is that kind of a film. It's not just there for to show you just action on action and just for setup for the next action set piece. It's a movie. You sit, you watch, you enjoy the relationships, you enjoy the characters, you enjoy the dialogue. It's not something where every other second or every other minute you gotta have a joke. No, it barely has any jokes, but it has moments where you just smile. You just look at the characters, you hear the characters talk, and you have a smile on your face. And it's beautifully done from start to the end. It might not be perfect, but it's damn close to being a perfect film that kind of ups everything from the first one. First one, I did feel like bored at times. This one, literally 2 hours went by and I didn't even not even realize it. And it was like there's still a lot of the story left. So all in all, it's definitely a must watch. You guys could definitely check it out. If, again, as I said, if you don't like the first one, you might still have a chance of liking this. And if you do like the first one, you will actually like this more, I believe. So that's kind of my take on this one. If you have watched it, what do you think? And if you're about to watch it, leave a comment below after you watched it and let me know what you thought about the movie. And that'll be all for me. I'll see you all soon. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, ta-da, a cow.